in this video, I'm going to be making an instrumental, but with a catch, and the catch is, I'm not going to be able to hear anything I'm making. So it could not sound how I want, it could sound really good. We're going to try and make around, I don't know, 16 bars, so we'll have a 4 bar or 8 bar intro, and then some sort of drop, if that's what you want to call it. This could sound atrocious, it could also sound amazing, but I'm feeling like using a guitar today, so these are all free plugins you can use. There's a link to the website I use on my channel for them, but as you can see, my volume's now all the way down, so you won't be able to hear what I'm making. But this is going to sound terrible, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and make a chord progression maybe. But again, this is probably going to sound terrible, but I was about to go and press play to see what that would hear like, but I can't, can I? And once this is over, then I will probably play the final thing, and if I actually think it's decent, then I might release it. You never know. You could see this exact thing on my channel some point soon, but I highly doubt it. So for this, I'm just using the music theory I know that will work, which is using things like 6th chords and 5th chords that usually always sound good, and then using the way you can tell that it's not going to sound horrible is of the intervals between all of these notes. So these sort of intervals where these notes are the same but the bass note goes down, usually in most things I make sound really good, as well as these sorts of bass notes here. So it's sort of, once you learn it, you sort of know that it's going to work. So that sort of interval I know is going to work. These I'm not so sure about, I'm just going off luck, to be honest, but that is our chord progression done, and what I want to do is maybe add an EQ, and if you don't know what this does, depending on how you use it, it's gonna, if you move it down this way, it's cutting out these high frequencies, meaning that it's gonna sound really muffled, and if you do it up here, then it's cutting out the low frequencies and not the high ones. This is basically used so it doesn't like clash with other instruments. So let's say you have a cello, but then there's another instrument that covers the whole of this spectrum here, then you practically just have to leave room for certain instruments. So a low frequency instrument would take up this space, one in the middle would take up this space, and a high pitched instrument would take up this space. You sort of have to leave room for most of your instruments, and that's what this is for. So I'm just going to make it a bit more muffled like that, and maybe not use it as much. But as far as that goes, I think this works, and this is how long we're gonna. These first 2 boxes will be an intro, and then it'll go into this. But maybe for a bit more of a build up, what I'll do is I'll layer it, which is a really good technique to add more like build up and feel. It will make you feel like it's growing before the drop, and then it just makes it feel a bit more full in a way. So instead I'm going to put this on an acoustic guitar and turn up the reverb quite a lot. I'm really nervous to see how this turns out. I'm not looking forward to it, but regardless, I'm going to try and do a drum pattern. This could sound horrible, but I know most of these because I've used them quite a lot. I know most of these sounds pretty well, so I know what this sounds like compared to something else. I know what these guitars sound like because I use them in a lot of things I make, but it could still turn out terrible, don't get me wrong. Like, and I think I know the best kick drum to use is this one, so I'm just going to use that. I'm going to use this snare, which I'm just going to put here. I would try and do different things, but I really don't see it working out. Actually, no, you know what, screw it, I'll try. But this is going to be the most basic thing I can think of that I know is going to work. And there's certain sounds I don't know very well, like most of these I don't know very well, lots of these I don't know very well. But I know this quite well, so I'll use this. I don't know how it's going to sound, but it might sound good. I'm probably might slow it down maybe to 125, something like that. But as things go, this is pretty good progress. What I'm going to do is for this guitar on the intro, I'm going to make it very like muffled, and then it has a bit more of an impact, I hope, if I'm doing this right, just from basic or knowledge that you get over time if you produce music. So for example, that I'm going to turn the attack up and turn down the level and turn up the reverb, and I think I'm done. So I'm going to unmute and I'm going to see how this sounds. 3, 2, 1, brace yourself, this could sound awful. I use an open hi-hat instead of a closed one. That's easily fixed. And the last portion of this video is just going to be me fixing this. Clearly I don't know these sounds very well, but that could... The first part, the intro, the actual guitar and the main progression of the song isn't... I wouldn't choose to make it sound like that, but it didn't sound as bad as I was worried it would, but still doesn't sound... The drums, I'd meant to use this closed hi-hat, but I used an open one instead, but the drums would sound like this. That's not very good. I think it's meant to be here. Yep. That's not very good, I won't lie. I don't think you'll be seeing this on my channel anytime soon. But maybe within this calamity of a beat, you might have learned something. But